right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Christy Kruger. Here's a look at some of the stories making news on this Tuesday. A man was beaten in Miami before some crooks stole his car at gunpoint. This happened in a park near Northwest 45th Street. The man ran to a gas station, and that's when Good Samaritans saw that he was bleeding and called police. The victim told the police that he was waiting to meet up with a woman for a date, but it was apparently a setup to take his car instead. Authorities are now looking for 2 men and a woman. And 4 people were airlifted to South Florida for treatment after a tour bus carrying cruise ship passengers crashed in the Bahamas. A U.S. military aircraft flew those patients here. They're now being treated at Broward Health Medical Center. The injuries ranging from fractured arms and legs to some internal injuries as well. One of them is feared to be paralyzed. The tourists were on a shore excursion when that crash happened. And some residents in Northwest Miami-Dade had their backyard lit on fire on Monday. Firefighters arrived at the scene at Northwest 10th Avenue and 100th Street to knock down those flames. Officials say it may have been sparked by a lightning strike. Residents who live there are grateful none of their children were out in the yard playing at the time, and no injuries were reported.
Listen to Local 10's podcast, The Florida Files, wherever you are, whenever you want. Just say, Alexa, play the Florida Files podcast.
Getting the latest episode of Florida Files. Here it is from TuneIn.
Previously on the Florida Files.
Or just ask Siri, I want to hear the latest Florida Files podcast.
Here's the newest episode of the Florida Files.
Get the Florida Files on Alexa, Google Home, or Apple devices just by saying play the Florida Files podcast. The Florida Files from the one and only Local 10.
Well, this one's kind of gross. A resident in North Lauderdale captured a disgusting act on camera. The homeowner's Ring camera caught this driver of that green Kia Soul pulling up in his driveway, taking off his shirt and going to the bathroom right there in his driveway. The resident says the driver drove over that feces as he left, leaving that mess behind for the homeowner to clean up later. Police are working to identify the man in that video. And as breaking news happens, we have you covered on air and online. Head to local10.com for more local news coverage and updates all day long.